Hey, what's going on, guys? This is not the kind of video that I wanted to come back to my channel with, since I haven't used this channel in a long time, but it needs to be said.
Our hopes for peace and security, our obligations to ourselves as well as others, all require us to make this effort, to solve these mysteries, to solve them for the good of all men.
We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest.
We will not tire, we will not falter, and we will not fail.
People are going over the debate whether or not there should be armed teachers in schools. Now, me personally, I think there should be. I would rather my daughter's teacher be armed and be able to stop an armed assailant versus not being able to protect themselves or the students of the school and have an armed assailant come in there and shoot multiple people, as what happened yesterday with the school shooting in Florida. I would much rather my teacher have one of these to protect themselves versus being a sitting duck, a fish in a barrel. I would much rather them have a gun that they are trained and legally able to obtain and operate and carry to defend my child's life and the life of other children at the school, to stop an armed assailant. There should be no debate. We should have already had teachers, if they want to be armed in schools to prevent such things from happening. And for the people saying ban all guns, these are our Second Amendment rights. Right here. It's my Second Amendment right to own this. I have my CPL, so I am legally trained and able to carry this on a daily basis, almost anywhere I go, with the exception of schools and sports arenas and whatnot. But that's gun-free zones are a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. I'm not going to get into that. I do think all gun-free zones should be abolished, and schools need to start arming teachers that are willing to be armed to protect students, to prevent this kind of thing from happening. I recently got into a conversation with somebody on Facebook, and their comment was, we need to get rid of all guns. I don't want the teachers at my child's school to be armed. And my reply to him was, would you rather have your child's teacher be armed and be able to stop an armed assailant from harming your child? Would you rather have that teacher be armed and be able to save your child's life versus them not being armed and an armed assailant walks in and kills as many people as possible because he knows it is a gun-free zone and nobody is going to be there to stop him? It is ridiculous that it's even up for debate. And I think there's a bill that people want to have passed allowing teachers to be armed in schools. Well, if I have an option to vote on it, I'm voting yes. There's no question. Teachers should be armed in schools. Hell, if I could volunteer, I would do it. I'd go to my daughter's school and stand guard. Granted, I would need probably a little bit more training than just a class for my CPL, which is fine. I would get the training, and I would do it if I could. I also support, if you don't want armed teachers, I support employing a veteran. Veterans are looking for jobs nowadays, and a lot of them would gladly volunteer to guard schools. You get 3 armed veterans in schools that want to protect children from mass shootings, let them have it. That would give them a sense of purpose, because a lot of veterans coming back from war are looking for their purpose in everyday life. That would help. It would give them something to do. It would give them a reason for keeping on. It would give them a purpose to be in society again, which is what they're looking for. That's all. They want a normal life. So I fully support having 3 or 4 armed veterans in every school. It's appalling to see how many people are just still so afraid of guns because they don't know anything about them. They don't know anything about their rights to keep and bear arms, our Second Amendment right. They just know this liberal agenda that says we should get rid of all guns. As I stated in the beginning of this video, I would much rather my daughter's teacher have one of these to defend themselves versus being unarmed and being a sitting duck, a fish in a barrel for an armed assailant to come in and kill as many people as possible. That teacher, my daughter's teacher, if they had one of these, if they got the proper training and they were legal to obtain one of these and carry it, they would be able to stop that threat. And then people say, well, a handgun's not going to stop an AR-15. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. A well-placed shot, center mass, from a handgun will perfectly stop an AR-15 assailant. Just because a gun is bigger and has more rounds does not mean that something less like this is a 9mm Beretta. And just for you fanatics out there, it's not loaded. I'll prove it. See, it's not loaded. I know some people are sticklers about that kind of thing. Oh, he's got a gun. Is it loaded? Is it not? That's not safe. Yeah, I would much rather my daughter's school have armed teachers. And she's going into high school next year, so that makes the likelihood of something like this happening even more possible. Because 9 times out of 10 it happens in high schools. She's not afraid of guns. Now mine are always locked up. And if I'm carrying at that current moment, if she's here on the weekend, I never leave my gun laying on a table like this one is now. But it's right in front of me and nobody's here. I'm here by myself and my dog. If she's here, I either have whatever gun I'm carrying that day either in my pocket or on my side in the holster, or they're locked up in the safe. She knows that we are safer because I have them. And one day, possibly in the near future, I'm going to teach her how to shoot. I'm going to start small, get a .22 rifle, and work our way up from there. But I'm going to teach her how to shoot. I'm going to teach her how to use my guns. Safely, responsibly. That way, when she gets a little older and I leave her home alone for a various amount of time, she will know how to use my guns if somebody were to break in here if she's home alone and defend herself. And maybe one day she would get her CPL when she turns 18. Anyway, I'm looking forward to posting more videos on this channel again. I've kind of rambled here in this one, but sue me, whatever. It's just this whole gun control thing just kind of boggles my mind. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't even be an issue. I will say my condolences go to the families and friends of the 17 victims from yesterday's shooting. By the time you're seeing this, it's probably already Friday, but I'm recording this Thursday night. But my condolences go to the family and friends of the 17 victims of this tragic shooting yesterday. And to anyone that's in the hospital, there was some people in critical condition. My thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the people that are fighting for their lives in the hospital right now. And anybody else that is in this school that knows somebody that was injured, or anybody that was just there at the school. It sucks what happened. There's no excuse for it. It shouldn't have happened. There was warning signs that could have prevented this, but nobody did anything. And that's the problem. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about teachers possibly being armed in schools defending your children against an armed assailant, rather than being sitting ducks, fish in a barrel, waiting to die because you can't defend yourself. I want to know your opinion. I want to know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm right or wrong. Hopefully, situations like this start to happen less and less. That's it. I'll see you guys later.
And we're talking about banning stuff, and the left is trying to do a gun grab. I'm all about banning high-capacity things, but here's what I want to ban. I want to ban high-capacity idiots, not high-capacity magazines. Also, when we're talking about listening to the left and what they say will solve our nation's violent problems, what did the DHS tell us a couple of months ago? Use scissors. If there's, all right, I got a plan. I can't believe these people have jobs. I got a plan, man. All right, if a mass murderer comes in, what you do is get a pair of scissors and gig him. Exactly. Wait till he dumps his magazine and then gig him. Then they tell the men this: crawl under the desk and hide in the fetal position. Yeah, why don't you just wet your pants also? There you go. What kind of crap is that? 2,000 years ago, there's this guy named Jesus. Y'all ever heard of him? Yeah. Before he was nailed to the cross and then resurrected, which really screwed things up for El Diablo, the ACLU, and Rosie O'Donnell. Jesus pulled his boys aside, and they looked pretty much like you guys, rough, cussing fishermen. And he told them this. He said, you know what? I'm about to leave now, and it's going to get rough for you guys, so here's what you got to do. You got to sell your jacket and get a sword. Jesus told them to get a 12 to 18-inch dagger in order not to cut bagels and spread cream cheese. He didn't tell them to get a bag of sand and blow it into an intruder's eyes. He says get a dagger, get a 12 to 18-inch dagger that was used for killing animals and tapping lungs in people that had bad intentions for his disciples and buddies. So, ladies and gents, when politicians, movie stars, and anti-Second Amendment activists try to get us to lay down our arms, give up our guns, and rely upon them for self-defense, say, you know, I would, that sounds all great and everything, but I can't because Jesus commanded me to carry a deadly weapon. And he told his boys in the first century a sword, but in our modern day context, I'm thinking a Remington 870, get a Remington 700 in 308, and maybe a Ruger Smith & Wesson 38 wheel gun, and you're pretty much stacked for the Armageddon special. That's right. God bless America! Woo! Oh, go to ClashDaily.com, damn it.
Already did.